now because we're not even watching the market. The market's in its own zone right now due to the fact that it's just earnings season. Normally on a Friday, if I saw like a 1.5 point gap on the market, I'd just take the day off. But it's not going to matter right now because you got so many earnings plays and IPOs running and stuff like that. So good call on whoever's in the morning that told us about the BYND. That was hot. Robbie, how you doing? Mr. Shoesmith, what's up? Danny, how you doing? So I wouldn't worry about too much about the ins and outs of what's going on with the market. There's more than enough stuff going on. Let's chat over here. We've got OLED here potentially for a run. This one actually moves really well because it only got 40 million share float. Watch this one especially if it starts to break out over 180 and then you start to ORB or start to build the patterns there. I think that one's going to be really, really important. X-Ray's got a nice clean breakout. 2 years starting to trend up pre-market. This one's a little bit thicker. It will move fine at the open. Like at the open, you'll be able to catch a nice thrust out of it if it wants to go. But in general, I would watch once the float thickens out on some of these things, then you don't have really anything. You don't have anything going on. So that's going to be really, really important. Like when we're looking at these things, we can't just, you get that opening shred and then they're done. So just be mindful of all that kind of stuff. Yeah, what we got here? I know for some of you penny poppers, like you like kind of some of this stuff, but I think this one has a chance because you are getting over this trend line over here. So you got $4. As long as it holds $4, you can look at taking potential intraday trades in it. You're already starting to see it kind of move and shake into pre-market. Now just be mindful, right? This thing is a turd. Right? So we always want to be just mindful of, we want to be real mindful of where we are on the daily chart and the fact that these are always going to be turds. So take the day trades in them, but just be mindful, right? They could drop $1 in a second. I don't plan on trading it because I don't want to ruin my Friday, with saying I got dusted in the balls by RHE. Shaq, I really like this one actually. This one's going to have a chance. You've got, you're close to all-time highs, I believe here, if you're looking at, not all-time highs, but I guess multi-year highs. If this thing rips over 70 at some point today, and it's thin enough in terms of its volume profile and its float, where, you could rip in like a couple candles, I think that this one's going to have a chance to really get going. Watch an ORB on this one. Usually if it's a thicker stock, I like to wait for a pullback, but I think this one may not wait. Funko used to be a hot one back in the day. This was like $6 to $32. We could get this thing started again, right? You got yourself a nice consolidation over here. So if this thing breaks over, I'd watch this thing like kind of around 22. Like if it could get over 22, at 22 range, you're going to start to go. You're already breaking out over. You're going to start breaking out over a couple trend lines over here. Now the issue on this one's just going to be liquidity. Does it have the volume and the liquidity to go? If it does, then I think that we're going to get a play on this one. Zixi, for some of you little penny poppers, this one's actually busting out to highs. You can see here it's actually busting out of a range that, it's busting out a range that it's been holding since 2005. So, that's a big, long range right there. When you have something that is like a multi-year range like that, and then you break out over it based on earnings, that's actually really powerful and can run for like multiple days, if not longer. So if you're into more like, the cheaper names, something like this could have a nice chance. It won't probably have it's not going to run like 30, 40 million shares in volume, but you'll probably see a few in it today. Monster. So Monster's gapping up on earnings. The daily chart kind of stinks on this, so it's a B minus for me. When I'm looking at these plays, like I want to have like a really hot daily. This one's a little bit more mid-range, and it's all right, but we know about Monster, right? Almost everybody that drinks Monster Energy, they're a very, very shady group. We know that, right? You see a brociopath with the Monster Energy drink, he's got pickup truck. He wears wraparound Oakleys. He's probably got a couple of Yeti coolers, and he don't hang out with anybody that looks like me. And that means we can't buy this thing anyways, but we'll go. You got to be careful with those brociopaths, guys. Anybody that rocks in with those wraparound Oakleys, that's a dangerous, dangerous man, okay? He's capable of all sorts of things, good and bad. The brociopath is one of the most astute but dangerous people in the universe for bros. So you got to be careful. There's all different types of bros. You got your frat bros, then you got your brociopaths, right? You got the hipster bros now. You got the beard bros, like the bros that like wear the beards. They like try to dress like they got a beard like they're Vikings, but then they like do up their hair and like kind of like shave the sides. And so it's like almost like they're like wearing makeup, but then they got these beards and you're like, right? And they wear like really, then they get like all jacked too. So they're like hipster beard bros, but they're like jacked. And those are actually the creepiest. The beard bros, I think, are probably even more dangerous than the Oakley bros. A guy in wraparound shades, at least you know what you're getting with him, right? Like, he's like, all right, he might go to a football game on Saturday. He's going to go fishing. He probably drinks Monster Energy trucks and says, like, shit, like, let's crush some brews. But a beard bro, he's part Viking, he's part gay, he's part wearing makeup. Like, you don't know what's going on with the beard bro. And like, now it's like the thing, like, you could go to Starbucks and your barista has like a beard going and like, but then he's got like perfectly manicured hair. It's all over the place with those guys. You don't even want to deal with those people. We don't know what they're all about. And then some of them are like jacked, but then they wear like eyeliner. I don't know. I'm not trusting any of those people. So moral of the story is we're going to stay away from Monster Energy drink today because it just brings out a whole side of me that I don't even want to tell. Over here, if this thing breaks down below the 200 SMA, I think this one's going to have a chance, guys. But it's got to break down under the 200, right? So watch this thing over here. If we got pre-market lows over here, if it dusts this thing out, I think we're going to be good to go, right? It's going to be good to go. This one's going to have range. Remember, like yesterday we were looking at, yesterday we were trading W in the chat room, right? And it looked so dead for a second. And then, like, because the range is big. And then when it finally starts to get dusted, like, you can get a 10, 15 point range on these things. I think ANET's going to have that kind of potential today. If it can hang out below the 200 SMA, this one's got a chance. I mean, this thing could, it could get dusted off the first couple candles. So just be mindful of that. CTSH is also getting shown some American justice, right? This thing is breaking down this trend line over here. It dumped into the close. Now we're gapping down again. I think that this one's definitely got a chance to get going. The last time we did try to trade on a gapper, though, it was acting choppy as all hell. So I will kind of put that with a grain of salt today. And then, look, on the other side of things, right, we've got all these IPOs coming here. This BYND, the way these things have been acting, there's almost, if this thing dumps even a little bit at the open, damn, it got up to 80 after hours pre-market, huh? So this thing is dumping a little bit at the open. Watch this thing around support. So, like, if it pulls back to any of these old breakout spots, I think that we're going to have a chance for a potential long on this thing. The range is sick. The volume is big. We've got more than enough stuff to do. This thing was the shred of shreds yesterday, so good job for everybody that was playing it. Let's see if we can get a dip down. I'd love to see this thing, like, just open red. You get that quick flush to, like, 64, maybe even 62. And watch this thing for the rebound. Pins. Pins has been just chilling for the last couple days. So I had the big down day, but now the 9 EMA is like just starting to show up. This is its first major pullback on this thing. What typically happens, this also happens with day trading. First pullbacks tend to hold. So watch this thing. If this thing starts to boost over 30, if this thing starts to if it starts, I'm no white hat guy. If this thing starts to boost over 30, I think that you're going to have something going on this one. It has some squeeze potential out here. If it breaks back below 29, though, it's going to need a couple more days to shake out. So just be mindful of that. You know, ZM had a very sneaky close yesterday. So this is one to keep an eye out, right? Always watch the close of a stock. You can see like this thing was hanging out all day and then start breaking over the VWAP. And when you get like that kind of power close where you get like $4 or $5, that means it's something to be reckoned with. We'll watch for any type of weakness on this today. And then if it starts going red to green, that trend starts to hold, then we're going to be good to go on this thing. We just got to be ready to shred. So everybody, let's go do what we do. It's Friday. You know what we got to do, right? This is the day you go hit your goals, all right? As always, it's been real, it's been fun, it's been fast. I'd say it's a pleasure because it has been. Peace.